My boots scrape across the front porch as I struggle to find the right key. The October wind slices through my thin jacket, a sharp reminder that I've once again avoided buying a proper winter coat. 12 hours at Horizon Logistics have left every muscle aching. All I want is a hot shower and quiet. The lock finally turns, and I'm greeted by the faint scent of my mother's rose air freshener, somehow making the house feel smaller instead of comforting. "That you, Felicia?" Mom's voice calls from the living room, the TV blasting another medical drama. "Yeah, it's me," I reply, setting my purse on the entryway table. A pile of unopened mail waits there. The red final notice on the mortgage bill catches my eye like a blow to the stomach. I trace my thumb over the embossed lettering, $1,150 due by Friday. 3 days away. I close my eyes and count backward from 10, a trick Dad taught me when thunderstorms scared me as a kid. The refrigerator tempts me with false hope. I open it to find exactly what I expect. Nearly empty shelves, aside from my meal-prepped containers, chicken and vegetables, Monday through Friday. Everything measured, planned, controlled. The rest of the fridge glares back, cold and bare. "Did you remember my prescriptions?" Mom calls again, her tone more expectant than thankful. "Yes, they're in my bag," I answer, resting my forehead against the cool metal door. The TV volume dips. My back is killing me today. "Can you bring them? Maybe make some tea?" I close the fridge and reach into my purse, pulling out my crumpled paycheck, cashed during lunch. The paper feels fragile, almost transparent, knowing how fast it will vanish. I place the $150 beside the mortgage statement, adding $50 for the inevitable late fee. Dad's voice echoes in my mind as I fill the kettle. "Just till she gets back on her feet, Lily," he'd said at the funeral, using my childhood nickname under the gray rain. Always the optimist, even in death. "She needs you right now. You know how your mother is. I did know. 5 years later, I still do." The kettle's whistle snaps me back. Through the kitchen doorway, I can see what should have been my home office. The Denver promotion paperwork still sits in the drawer, long expired. Regional manager. A $20,000 raise. "A fresh start, Felicia." "The tea?" Mom's voice pulls me back. The papers are yellowed now, but I've kept them. A reminder, or maybe a punishment. I bring her tea to the living room where she lounges in Dad's old leather chair. The TV's blue glow washes over her face, making her seem older than 56. "You took forever at work," she mutters, taking the mug without looking up. "They asked me to cover for Stephanie again," I say, sitting carefully on the edge of the couch, afraid that if I sink in, I won't get up again. Extra hours mean extra pay, even if it never feels like enough. Mom takes a sip, frowns. "Not enough sugar." Her gaze drifts to the framed photo on the side table, Tessa and Dylan's wedding day. She touches the silver frame. "If only you had Tessa's sunny disposition. She never lets the little things get to her. The little things. Like our mortgage, utilities, groceries, and her medication. Tessa doesn't have to worry about the little things," I reply evenly, tamping down the irritation building in my chest. "Your father would be so proud of how you take care of me," she says, her favorite weapon. The words hit where they always do, somewhere between my heart and spine. "I'm going to take a shower," I mutter. In the bathroom mirror, I meet my reflection, dark circles, tired eyes, hair tied back in a no-nonsense ponytail. I barely recognize her. "Just a few more months," I whisper to the stranger staring back. "Just a few more months, and I'll finally begin again." My phone buzzes from the pocket of my jeans tossed carelessly on the floor. I reach for it, ready to ignore whoever's demanding something else from me, until I see Tessa's name flashing on the screen. For a moment, I consider letting it go to voicemail. But family is family, as Dad would always remind me. I answer. "Felicia!" Tessa's voice bursts through, cheerful and energetic. "Guess what? We're coming home!" My stomach tightens. "Home? What do you mean?" "Dylan lost his job. The magazine's cutting staff. Can you believe it? After everything he's done," her voice lowers conspiratorially. "It's just temporary, of course, until we get back on our feet." The phrase echoes in my head. Dad's words from years ago. Just until Mom gets back on her feet. Then, just until Tessa does. Everyone always getting back on their feet while I stay pinned beneath the weight of their needs. "Have you told Mom?" I ask, though I already know from Tessa's excitement. "Yes!" She's thrilled. Says it'll be just like old times. I hear Mom's footsteps approach the bathroom door. Felicia? Is that Tessa? Let me talk to her. I open the door and Mom eagerly snatches the phone from my hand. Her face lights up with a smile I haven't seen in months. Tessa, sweetheart. I've already started planning. Yes, of course, Felicia's thrilled too. When she hands the phone back, I retreat to my room. So, when are you coming? I ask. This weekend? Isn't it perfect? Dylan already has a few leads. I swallow hard. You can use the guest room. It's small, but... Oh, Mom already said we could have your room, Tessa interrupts. It just makes more sense since it's bigger. You don't mind, right? You're hardly home anyway with all the hours you work. The world goes silent, as though someone pressed mute on reality. I stare at the walls of my bedroom, the only space that's mine. Felicia? You still there? Don't be selfish, the Taylor family motto. One that only ever applies to me. I'll clear out my things, I hear myself say. After hanging up, I stand motionless in the center of my room. Outside, Mrs. Henderson waters her flowers next door. She waves. I wave back automatically. For the first time in 5 years, I see myself clearly, not as a dutiful daughter keeping promises, but as a resource slowly drained dry. When I'm empty, they'll simply move on. The thought doesn't bring anger or sadness, just a quiet shift inside. Like furniture being rearranged to make space for a truth I've long avoided. I am dispensable, replaceable, defined only by what I provide. And maybe, just maybe, that means I'm free. That Saturday, the doorbell rings 3 sharp times. Tessa, impatient as always. I pull myself from the cramped guest room, now crowded with boxes that hold what's left of my life. The bedroom I'd slept in for 28 years was emptied in a single afternoon, while I was at work, earning the money that keeps this house standing. When I open the door, Tessa throws her arms around me, her perfume filling the air. Behind her, Dylan struggles with 3 matching leather suitcases, each probably worth more than my entire wardrobe. Felicia. Tessa squeals, hugging me tightly. I've missed you so much. I pat her back awkwardly. You too. My eyes drift to the Louis Vuitton luggage Dylan maneuvers through the doorway. For someone recently unemployed, he's traveling rather comfortably. Mom's in the kitchen making your favorites, I say, stepping aside. Tessa beams. I told her not to fuss, but you know how she gets when her baby comes home. Her baby. Not babies. Never plural. The guest room's ready for me? I ask, though I already know. Yesterday, I came home from work to find Mom clearing my closet. My things stacked haphazardly on the dining table. Oh, Felicia, Tessa says, resting a manicured hand on my arm. Her diamond ring catching the light. You're such a homebody anyway. This works perfectly. Dylan and I need the space. Mom appears in the hallway, wiping her hands on a dish towel, her face glowing with a joy I haven't seen since Dad died. There's my girl. She hurries past me to hug Tessa. I stand aside, watching through invisible glass as the scene unfolds. 3 suitcases for a temporary stay. Luxury luggage for people supposedly in crisis. The math doesn't quite make sense, but apparently I'm the only one who cares. Dylan, put your things in Felicia's room, Mom says, still holding Tessa close. She's all moved into the guest room. Already? Dylan's eyebrows lift slightly. Mom handled it yesterday, I reply evenly. She was efficient. Mom smiles, clearly proud. I wanted everything to be perfect for you two. I step into the kitchen to check dinner. Pot roast with all the sides, Dad's favorite, now prepared for Tessa's return. I lift the lid, breathing in the scent that once meant comfort and family, but now smells like favoritism served with carrots. The car keys are by the door. Mom calls to Dylan. Felicia won't need them Monday. She can take the bus to work. My hand pauses on the pot. What? Mom appears in the doorway. Dylan needs to look for a job Monday. You can manage the bus for a few days. A few days sounds indefinite. I carefully replace the lid, stalling. I have meetings across town Monday. I need my car. Felicia. Mom sighs, disappointment tightening her features. Your sister needs support right now. Can't you think beyond yourself? The familiar guilt rises in my throat. I press my nails into my palms, holding it back. I already told their landlord you'd cover their remaining lease payments, she adds casually, adjusting a magnet on the fridge. Just until they're settled. I stare at her, waiting for a hint she understands what she's asking. Nothing. You told their landlord what? Before she can answer, Tessa's laughter floats in from the hall. She and Dylan are by the door, whispering. We'll be fine, Tessa says softly. Felicia always handles everything. The wooden spoon snaps in my hand. I hadn't realized I was gripping it that hard. Later that night, unable to sleep on the thin, fold-out bed, I open my laptop. The cramped desk presses against my knees, nothing like the workspace I had before. An old email catches my eye, a message from Tessa to Mom, sent 3 weeks ago. My finger hovers over delete, but curiosity wins. Mom's reply reads, "Don't worry about Felicia. She'll understand." She always does. The timestamp mocks me. 3 weeks ago? Dylan's job loss wasn't sudden. This move was planned. I was the only one unaware. My phone buzzes. A text from Marcus, my coworker. Offer in Knoxville still open. Regional position. Company housing available. I set the phone down, but the thought glows brighter than the screen. Through the wall, I hear Tessa from my old room. We should update this space, she tells Dylan. Sell the old furniture. Get something more our style. My furniture, bought with my paychecks, already deemed outdated. In the morning, Mom's in the kitchen, writing a grocery list twice the usual length. We'll need more food now, she says. And utilities will go up with 4 people. I've worked it out. She slides the list toward me, along with a calculator showing a total equal to half my paycheck. We're family, she adds. We help each other. Out the window, Mrs. Henderson from next door watches as Tessa throws away my herb garden, 3 years of care gone in seconds. Mrs. Henderson meets my gaze and shakes her head. At lunch Monday, I drive to the bank instead of eating. Mr. Peterson, the manager who helped Dad set up our accounts, reviews the joint activity. You're the only one depositing, he says, and have been for some time. On my way back, I finally make the call I've avoided. Marcus, is the Knoxville position still open? For you? Absolutely, he replies without pause. That evening, while Tessa and Mom plan a backyard barbecue and Dylan uses my car for job hunting, I go to my old room. Tessa's clothes hang in my closet. My desk is shoved in a corner, its drawers empty. I lift the loose floorboard where I once hid paperwork from my Denver promotion. Beneath it lies my emergency fund, $5,000 in cash. Dad's words echo, always keep something aside. The world changes fast, Lily. He was right. I call a moving company while laughter drifts from outside. My stomach twists with guilt, but something stronger rises, the quiet pull of freedom. We can come Monday, the dispatcher confirms. 9 a.m. sharp. I book the day off, my first personal day in over a year. By nightfall, I've transferred the utilities to Clara's name and withdrawn from our joint account, leaving just one mortgage payment. I set up mail forwarding. I've accepted the Knoxville position, starting next Wednesday. From the guest room window, I watch Tessa and Dylan on the porch swing Dad built, their faces glowing from their expensive phones. Mom brings them drinks, hovering nearby with quiet attentiveness. None of them ask where I've been all evening. For once, I don't feel the need to explain. Next Wednesday marks my first morning in Knoxville, a morning filled with a new kind of quiet. No TV echoing medical dramas, no sighs from the next room, no one calling my name to request another favor. Just sunlight filtering through the blinds I selected myself, warming the small, bright bedroom of my apartment. I stretch across the bed, my limbs touching every corner without crossing into someone else's space. 5 years of careful sleep flash through my mind. Years spent listening for movement. Medication reminders, late-night reassurances. Last night, for the first time since Dad's death, I slept 8 uninterrupted hours. My phone buzzes on the nightstand. 17 missed calls from Mom. 32 messages from Tessa. I skim the previews. How could you just... After everything we've... Dad would be so disappointed. It should hurt. But it doesn't. I turn the phone face down and step into the shower. My morning unfolds easily, like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon, efficient and free from others' demands. Coffee brewed just right. Breakfast eaten in silence while reading, not refereeing family disputes. No one criticizing my plain meal prep containers. 2 weeks later, as team lead at Horizon's Knoxville facility, I've already reorganized the shipping department, cutting processing time by 14%. My supervisor noticed immediately. Whatever Nashville was paying you, it wasn't enough, he said, placing a recognition certificate on my desk. That evening, I wrote in my journal, I keep waiting for guilt that never arrives. And that's true. The heavy burden of obligation I expected hasn't appeared. Instead, something new is taking shape inside me. Something that, if nurtured, could become happiness. The lobby intercom buzzes just as I'm grabbing my jacket for work. Miss Taylor, 2 women are here insisting they need to see you. They say they're family. My stomach tightens. My shoulders instinctively hunch. Old habits. I'll be right down. The elevator ride feels like a descent into my past. Each floor down peels away another layer of peace I've earned. Deep breaths. Dad's old technique. When the doors open, Mom and Tessa stand in the lobby, looking both out of place and entirely certain they belong. Mom's cardigan is buttoned wrong, her hair untidy, a calculated display of distress. Tessa's eyes are red, but her makeup remains flawless. There she is, Tessa declares loudly, drawing every gaze in the lobby, the daughter who abandoned her family without a word. People glance up from their phones. The security guard shifts, uncertain. Good morning, I say evenly. This is unexpected. Mom steps closer, hands trembling. Felicia, how could you leave us with nothing? The electricity's about to be cut off. There's no food. My hands shake slightly, but I keep them down. I left the utilities in your name, all paid through the month. The mortgage, too. I even left instructions for payment plans. That's not enough, Mom says, voice rising. We need you, Felicia. We've always needed you, the security guard approaches. Everything all right, Ms. Taylor? Tessa spins toward him. This is a family matter. My sister abandoned our mother with no support. That's not true, I say quietly, but firmly. Mom received Dad's pension for years. She chose not to work. She chose to spend, not save. You're heartless, Tessa snaps. After everything we've done for you. A laugh escapes me. Sharp. Unexpected, but entirely my own. That's right. Tessa, I didn't leave you with nothing. I left exactly what you earned. Mom's face tightens. The act so convincing that for a brief moment, I almost reach for her. Almost. Marcus steps up beside me, coffee cup in hand. Everything okay, Felicia? We've got that supplier meeting in 5. Tessa tries to move past him toward the employee area. We're not done here. You can't just turn your back on family. Marcus subtly shifts, blocking her path in a movement that seems casual but isn't. Ma'am, that area's for employees only. She's my sister, Tessa snaps. And she's my coworker, Marcus replies evenly. Who has a meeting? I give Marcus a grateful nod, then turn to Mom and Tessa. I have to go now. Maybe use the drive back to Nashville to discuss how you'll handle the mortgage. Their stunned expressions stay with me all the way to the conference room. That evening, my neighbor Sarah knocks with a casserole and a dinner invite. Thought you might like some company, she says. Moving somewhere new can be lonely. Her small kindness nearly breaks me. Later, while we wash dishes, my phone rings. Mrs. Henderson's name flashes on the screen. They're telling everyone you abandoned them, she says flatly. Clara's got the neighborhood thinking you lost your mind and just vanished. Are you surprised? I ask, drawing a plate. Not one bit, she replies fiercely. That's why I'm calling people myself to tell the truth. No one who saw how you cared for that house and those people for 5 years believes a word they're saying. 3 days later, my supervisor appears at my desk. Take tomorrow off if you need to. Family situations can be messy. I'm fine, I insist. He smiles gently. Take it anyway. You deserve some rest. The next morning, I drive back to Nashville. My heart pounding as I near the old neighborhood. I need to confirm my mail forwarding at the post office. But something draws me to the house first. I park across the street, staring at the place that held me for 5 long years. The yard already looks neglected. Dad's rose bushes droop, unwatered. Suddenly, the front door opens, and Dylan steps out, carrying a box to his car. I get out before I can second-guess myself. Hello, Dylan. He freezes, nearly dropping the box. Felicia, Jesus, you scared me. I need to pick up a few things. He glances at the house nervously. Claire won't be happy you're here. I'm aware. Inside, the sight stops me cold. Where my furniture once stood, only dust outlines remain. The bookshelves I built with Dad, gone. The coffee table I restored, gone. Mom appears from the kitchen, her eyes widening. You took everything, she accuses. I took what I paid for, I answer evenly. Dylan frowns. Wait, you were paying for everything? His confusion would be laughable if it weren't so sad. Tessa storms in. What happened to Dad's life insurance money? There should have been savings. Mom's face reddens. Well, the kitchen needed updating. And your car? My car? Tessa's voice rises. You said we had savings. $36,000, I say quietly. That's what the policy paid. It was gone in 8 months. Tessa turns to me, mascara streaking her cheeks. Did you know? I found out when the mortgage came due, and nothing was left. Mom collapses onto the couch, my couch, apparently too heavy for them to take, and sobs. Please help us figure this out, Felicia. You always know what to do. The words hit hard. I was never the daughter. I was the fixer, the safety net. Tessa paces, anger radiating from her. You're really just going to stand there and do nothing? After everything Mom's done for you? You're heartless. My heart's fine, I reply. It's just no longer available for your use? Mom clutches her chest. My blood pressure's acting up. The doctor says the stress is worsening my condition. Dylan, finally catching on, points at me. You should have told us about the finances before you left. I walked to the counter and placed the mortgage statement down. 5 years left. It's your problem now. Tessa grabs my arm as I turn to leave. You can't just walk away from family. I gently remove her hand. You wanted each other? Now you have each other. Outside, the October air feels clearer than it did 20 minutes ago. As I get into my car, my phone buzzes, a bank alert. Clara Taylor attempted to access a closed joint account. Then a text from Tessa. You can't walk away from family. This isn't over. Finally, an email notification. A forwarded letter from Clara's doctor about her declining health. I stare at the house that was never truly mine. My thumb hovers over block, but I press delete instead. I'll deal with them later, on my terms. For now, I drive back toward Knoxville, toward my new life. And the person I'm becoming when I'm no longer carrying everyone else's burdens? The road ahead stretches wide and open. And for the first time in 5 years, so does my future. A week later, a certified letter rests on my kitchen counter like a grenade with its pin halfway out. For 3 days, it's been there. My name and new address printed in neat black type that somehow feels accusatory. I already know what it contains. My final statement to Clara about the mortgage. My therapist calls it necessary closure. I call it tearing off a bandage that's been fused to skin. I slide a finger under the flap and pull out a single sheet of paper. To Clara Taylor. This letter serves as formal notice that as of October 15th, I am no longer financially responsible for the property at 1422 Oak Ridge Lane. My phone buzzes on the counter. It's Marcus from work. Tessa showed up at the office, he says without introduction. Security called me when she refused to leave the lobby. My stomach tightens. What did she want? To talk to Mr. Reynolds about a charity donation for her family. She kept using your name. I close my eyes and count backward from 10. My father's calming trick fails me for the first time in 2 decades. Thanks for letting me know, I manage. Reynolds shut it down quickly, Marcus adds. He said the company doesn't make personal charity donations, especially ones that could look like favoritism toward an employee's relatives. The irony stings. I spent 5 years making sure my family never struggled, and now they're begging in my workplace lobby. After hanging up, I finish addressing the certified letter. My handwriting stays steady even as my pulse hammers beneath my skin. The mortgage is Clara's problem now. 5 years of payments, $69,000, gone into a house I no longer live in. My laptop pings with a new email. From Horizon Security. Subject: Suspicious online review. The review is short but cutting. Felicia Taylor handles logistics like she handles family, by abandoning ship when things get hard. I forward it to HR with a brief note explaining my family situation, then freeze all 3 credit bureaus with a few practiced clicks. Not my first time dealing with Dylan's attempts to breach my accounts. When my therapist's office calls at 2 p.m., the headache behind my right eye has grown into a steady throb. Dr. Winters had a cancellation. Can you come at 3 instead of Friday? Sometimes the universe throws a small favor. Dr. Winters' office smells of coffee and worn leather, a mix that always eases the knot in my shoulders. She gestures toward the blue armchair I've claimed during our weekly sessions. You look like you haven't slept, she notes. notepad balanced on her knee. Family reunion day, I say, trying for a smile that doesn't land. The boundaries list we talked about? I hand her the notebook page titled What I Will and Won't Accept. The first line reads, I will not be financially responsible for adults capable of working. They found creative ways to test every boundary today, I tell her. Clara listed the house for sale. Dr. Winters raises her eyebrows slightly. Without resolving the mortgage issue? The realtor called when the title search showed my name still on the loan. And how did that make you feel? Her question unlocks something volatile, as if she still sees me as a walking blank check. We spend 50 minutes exploring healthy reactions versus impulsive ones. When I leave, the headache has faded to a dull pressure instead of a stabbing pain. My phone lights up with a news alert as I pull into my apartment parking lot. A new GoFundMe campaign. Help the Taylor family keep their home. Tessa's smiling face fills the thumbnail. Clara beside her looking frail and distressed. The description makes my blood boil. After our sister, divided by daughter, abandoned us during financial hardship. I take a screenshot and forward it to my lawyer with a 2-word message. Defamation lawsuit. Before I can put the phone down, it rings again. Mrs. Henderson's name flashes on the screen. I thought you should know. She begins without greeting. The truth is coming out. That GoFundMe your sister started? People are asking questions. Betty Marshall from church remembered your father's insurance policy and asked Clara what happened to that money. What did she say? I gripped the steering wheel. She mumbled something about medical expenses. Then Betty brought up Clara's kitchen renovation last year. A laugh escapes me, sharp and real. The renovation I paid for because Clara said it would raise the home's value. Now half the neighborhood knows everything. And Tessa's busy showing potential buyers photos of the house, each image exposing another maintenance issue. The back steps are rotting. The gutters are clogged. All the weekend chores I used to handle myself. That evening, the doorbell rings. I glance through the peephole and spot a few of my coworkers. Marcus in front, holding a casserole dish. Intervention, he declares as I open the door. Apparently, Tessa visited the office. They file in with food, laughter, and a sense of comfort unburdened by expectation. Someone hands me a glass of wine. The conversation drifts to work, weekend plans, and upcoming movies. Simple topics untouched by guilt or mortgage worries. We're hosting Thanksgiving at our place, Marcus's wife Janine says, gently squeezing my arm. You're coming. No excuses. My throat tightens. I start to protest. Not this year, she interrupts softly. My phone buzzes. An unknown number. Mom got a part-time job at Wilson's Pharmacy, the text reads. She's furious. Another follows quickly. This is Liam, Tessa's friend. Thought you should know they're not doing great. I show Marcus the messages. Good, he says firmly. About time they learn to stand on their own. Later, when everyone leaves, I stand by the window watching cars glide past below. My apartment is small, but calm. No constant demands, no unpaid bills hiding in corners. My phone buzzes again, an email notification. From Tessa Taylor subject. This is all your fault. You said Felicia would always take care of us, the message reads, clearly meant for Clara. I forward it to my therapy journal folder. Evidence of the first fractures in their united front. For the first time in 5 years, I fall asleep free of the weight that used to press me into the mattress. My dreams are quiet, free from guilt or anxiety. Freedom, I realize, costs exactly what I can afford. 10 days later, the sterile hospital scent greets me before I fully step inside the room. It mixes with the soft floral perfume Clara has worn since I was 10. Mom lies in crisp white sheets, looking smaller than she did 3 months ago. Her hair, once dyed to hide the gray, now shows silver roots. The sight catches me off guard. Felicia? Her voice trembles. You came. I pause at the doorway, flowers gripped like a shield. 3 steps would bring me to her bedside, but my feet stay rooted. The doctor says it's just a minor procedure, I reply, keeping my voice steady. Tessa made it sound like you were dying. Mom's hand rises to her chest. My heart, honey. The palpitations started after you left. Dr. Simmons says it's stress-induced. I set the daisies on the windowsill, careful not to disturb the neat row of get-well cards, many stamped with our family church's golden cross. Pastor Williams called me yesterday, I say. He mentioned a family healing intervention. Everyone's worried about you. tears well in her eyes but don't fall. Running away, cutting off your family, that's not like you, Lily. The childhood nickname hits hard. My chest tightens, and for a moment, I imagine reaching for my checkbook, saying, "Just until you're stable again." Old habits die hard. I didn't run away, I answer quietly. I moved on. The bathroom door opens and Tessa steps out. Phone in hand. She freezes when she sees me, her surprise too polished to be real. "You're here." She slides the phone away and moves toward me for a hug I don't return. "Did you get my messages about the family meeting?" "Everyone's coming. I'm not staying for any meeting." Her smile falters. She reaches into a tote and pulls out a cracked leather photo album. "I brought this to remind you who you are, who we are as a family." The album falls open to a faded Polaroid. Dad teaching me to fish while little Tessa watches from the shore. My throat tightens again. "Family comes first," Tessa whispers. That's what Dad always said. A muscle twitches in my jaw. "Is that why you told people I had a mental breakdown? To help me remember?" Tessa pales, glancing toward Mom. "I was worried about you," she stammers. "Worried enough to spread rumors to my old neighbors? To mislead Mom's doctor?" Mom's heart monitor quickens. "Felicia, please," she pleads weakly. "Not now." My head throbs as the start of a migraine settles in. I press my fingers to my temples, wishing I hadn't forgotten my medication. I also wish my therapist wasn't on vacation this week. "All we want," Tessa says, stepping closer, "is a fresh start. Just a little help until we're stable." Those familiar words again. The family mantra. I really look at my sister. Designer watch. Fresh highlights. Manicured nails that have never known housework. "I brought you something," I say quietly, unzipping my bag to pull out a thick folder. Inside are 5 years of mortgage statements, utility bills, grocery receipts, and insurance payments, all in my name. The total $7,400. "What's this?" Tessa asks, though her tone shows she already knows. "Evidence," I reply, setting the folder on Mom's tray table and opening it. "Every dollar I spent keeping this family going while you were in Atlanta, finding yourself." Mom turns away. "That's cruel, Felicia." "I was grieving. So was I answer steady. But I still went to work every day. I still kept a roof over our heads." I slide out the final page. An expired job offer from Denver. Regional manager. 20,000 more per year than I made in Nashville. "I said no to this for you," I add, placing it on top. "I said no to my life for 5 years. Tessa's phone chimes. She glances at it, then back at me. Uncle Robert and Aunt Sarah just arrived. "The pastor's with them." "Good," I say. "They should see this too." The door opens. Uncle Robert steps in first, face carefully composed. Aunt Sarah follows, and Pastor Williams's kind expression falters when he sees the documents on the table. "Felicia," the pastor begins, "we're here to help your family heal." "Perfect timing," I reply, gesturing to the papers. "Let's start with some honesty." Uncle Robert moves closer, examining the numbers. His eyebrows lift. "Clara? What is all this?" Mom stares at the ceiling. Tessa jumps in. "Felicia's been under a lot of stress." "I've been stressed," I cut in, "because I've supported 3 adults on 1 income. While Mom told everyone I abandoned her, and Tessa spread rumors about my mental health." Aunt Sarah picks up a statement. "Clara, you told us Felicia left you with nothing, that you were about to lose the house." "She took all the furniture," Mom protests weakly. "The furniture I paid for," I remind her. "After Dad's insurance money went to Tessa's car and that unnecessary kitchen renovation." Pastor Williams clears his throat. "Perhaps Clara needs to rest." This seems exactly what needs to happen," Uncle Robert interrupts. He taps the Denver offer letter. "You turned this down to stay with your mother?" I nod. "Something loosens in my chest, young lady," he says. "Your father would be ashamed." Mom gasps, but Uncle Robert isn't looking at me. He'd be ashamed of how his wife and younger daughter treated the one who sacrificed everything. "Joe Taylor raised you better, Clara." The room falls silent, except for the steady monitor beep. Tessa looks down. Mom's chin trembles. "I didn't realize," she whispers finally. "I didn't know how much I took from you." Her words should feel like victory. But they don't. They're only acknowledgement. Powerless to change the past. "I don't need apologies," I say, gathering the papers. "I need respect. I need boundaries." "But we're family," Tessa pleads, her voice lacking conviction. "Yes," I answer, and family means no one gets left behind. But it doesn't mean one person carries everyone else. Not anymore. I zip my bag and stand. I hope you feel better soon, Mom. As I reach the door, Tessa hurries after me. Can we at least talk about the mortgage due next week? She whispers. I turn once. No. The single word echoes down the corridor as I walk away, each step feeling lighter. A year later, morning sunlight filters through soft curtains. I've chosen myself, finally. The promotion to Regional Logistics Director allowed me to buy this small Knoxville bungalow. Not grand, but completely mine. I curl my toes into the braided rug and sip my coffee on the window seat. Outside, the garden flourishes, dahlias and black-eyed Susans dancing in the October breeze. Simple plants that thrive with little care but great beauty. Like me now. The doorbell rings. Robert stands there, his satchel slung across his chest, silver hair catching the light. Brought fresh scones, he says, holding up a paper bag. Thought we could have breakfast before your shift. His smile reaches his eyes, offering warmth without expectation. 6 months of dating, no emotional scorekeeping, no quiet tests of loyalty. Just mutual respect wrapped in calm affection. My phone buzzes as we spread jam on the warm scones. Cousin Vivian's name flashes. I need to take this, I tell Robert. Felicia, thank God you answered. Vivian's voice shakes. Derek left. The kids are struggling. I can't make rent this month, and just until I get on my feet. The familiar refrain. The same one Clara and Tessa once used. I'm sorry that's happening, I reply evenly. The Community Resource Center on Willow Street offers emergency rent help. I can text you the number. Silence stretches. That's it? She snaps. After everything our family did for you? Yes, I say simply. That's what I can offer right now. After the call, Robert returns. Everything okay? Actually, yes, I say, and mean it. Later, I check the mail. Among the envelopes is my mortgage statement. No red warnings, just a steady reduction in balance. Real ownership. I open the fridge, fresh vegetables, sharp cheddar, orange juice in the glass bottle I prefer. Small luxuries chosen on my terms. My phone pings. Another automatic deposit to savings. The quiet growth of freedom. At my desk, I open my leather journal, the one Dad gave me for my 16th birthday. For your big ideas, he'd said. If only he could see how I've finally made space for them. I write, family isn't martyrdom. It shouldn't mean disappearing. My therapist's words echo. Guilt is just fear disguised as virtue. Next week marks 18 months of learning new patterns. That evening, I host a small housewarming, long delayed. Marcus and Denise bring wind chimes. You've inspired half the team to set better boundaries, Marcus says. Mrs. Henderson arrives with cuttings from her garden, descendants of plants I once grew. These belong with you, she says softly. They always did. Later, Jennifer, our new logistics coordinator, pulls me aside. My brother's moving in and already talking about staying next year. I'm afraid to say no. I recognize that look. Shoulders tense, voice hesitant. Your worth isn't defined by sacrifice, I tell her, handing my therapist's card. She has a sliding scale. And I'm here if you need to talk. The gratitude in her eyes mirrors who I once was, and who I'm not anymore. After everyone leaves, I sit on my porch swing. The October air wraps around me like a familiar cardigan. It's been 3 months since I last saw Clara and Tessa at the 4th of July picnic. I left early when the guilt began, but Clara's reluctant respect that day meant more than any approval. My phone lights up. Mom's name on the screen. I pause, then answer. Hello, Mom? My voice warm, steady. I've finally learned something, I say gently. Family isn't what drains you. Real family helps you grow.